Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's, in case you haven't figured it out, there's a cold snap hitting the Midwest right now, and it's headed east. Fair warning to all you guys in the east and the some of the southeast too. It's about to get real with the weather. So I'm out here with the doggies. I've got footage of Stitch putting on. I put the sweater on him. See how he reacts. Stay tuned. Good morning, welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily, the show where I bring you recaps of live trials every morning. What we've got going on this week is the George Wagner case is continuing. It's going into its fifth week? Yeah. And we do expect the testimony of Angela, his mother, George's mother, and his brother Jake, who are already in prison serving their sentences. We expect their testimony like any time now. I don't know if it will be today. What's going on here? What is going on here? So, this is also about my life, and I just want to take a minute to thank everybody for shopping in the store, the leftovers. That's my other YouTube channel. The link to that channel is down in the description, and check it out if you get a chance. The link to my eBay store is also down in the description. I have added a whole bunch of pairs of really neat shoes, men's shoes, women's shoes, a little pair of 5T toddler shoes, too cute, and I hope to get a lot more listed. Today I need to go get some shipping supplies. I need bubble wrap, stuff like that, because I've got some glassware I need to send out. And the person that purchased that is a subscriber. You know who you are. Thank you so much. You will also be getting a watercolor painted card by me. Now, where were we on this? Okay, we need the X. I do have these organized. Yes, I do. X. Here we go. So last night, I streamed Disney's... I streamed Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and I had such a good time. And thank you guys that are playing the game that helped me, because I got stuck on a couple of quests, and you guys helped me out. Let me turn the light pad on. There we go. This has several. There. It has different levels of illumination, is what I'm trying to say. Where was I? Okay, so I streamed the game. So then when I was done streaming, because I limited it to 1 hour, and when I was done streaming, we had quite a few people in there. I was pleasantly surprised, and some new subscribers. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. I do a variety of things here. You'll hear me blogging about my life. You will hear the trial recaps. What is going on here? All of a sudden, I'm getting testimony in fast motion. That is really weird. Okay, maybe it'll stop. That is so weird. Okay. I have it paused, and the red line is just going, and it's going at this really fast speed. So, yes, I need a new tire, and I will hopefully... I've got some money coming into my account from another savings account that I had, so that I can get the tires. I have to go purchase some shipping supplies today. I think I already mentioned that. Okay, so I streamed the game last night, and my plan was when I was done, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play some more, because I hadn't played that game in a couple of nights, so I was real enthusiastic because I got through some of the quests, and I was having fun. And then I remembered after I stopped the stream, oh my God, House of Dragons comes on tonight. So I ran out to the living room. I said, is it time for the House of Dragons? Almost. So we watched that, and it's episode 9 of 10. So next week is the finale, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but all I'm going to say is, oh my God, this show is so good. So good. Oh, wow. And I don't want it to end, but there's going to be many seasons of this. I can just tell. Because you can listen to this little show afterwards that the producers do, where they talk about producing each episode, and you can tell that this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I read the book, and I can tell you they're not even like, they haven't even gotten to the beginning of the book. They're like before the beginning of the book. Hi, baby. She's got her sweater on today. So here is Stitch with the sweater on. Let me tell you this story. I was sitting waiting for House of Dragons to start, and I finished up the sweater, and I was sitting there right in my lap, and here comes Stitch, and he sits down in my lap, and I put the sweater off to the side, and he just kind of, he likes to get some loving from me, and I'm petting him, and he's calming down. So I kind of put the sweater between him and I don't do anything with it. And then I just kind of gently slip it over his head. What do you want? What's the matter, girl? She's been like this all morning. She wants to go out, but it's cold. Here. Oh my God. It's so cold out there. And it's getting colder tonight. Right now we have the windows open, but I think by tonight I'm going to have to close them. It's going to be that, oh, now she's barking at the neighbors. So this morning, I think she wanted me to put her sweater on. I'm thinking that, right? So I put it on her. She loves her sweater. Just pretty girl. Yes, you are a pretty girl. The pretty sweater. Yeah. So back to the cat story. So I slip it over his head, slip it over his feet, put it on him, and he just kind of sits there. And by then I grab the camera and I'm calling for my sister, and she's, I can't hear you. She can never hear me. So I'm filming the cat, and he just kind of jumps out of my lap and stands there, and then you'll see what he does from there. But I want to film him. I got it on him.
Did he give you a fight? What'd your mommy do to you? What did she do to you?
He's thinking about it, though. He's not, I don't think he knows he can move. Guys, yeah, you guys are next, so just wait. You look so handsome, Stitch. He's like, how do I get out of this thing?
She first a leash and now this.
Where's he going? Where's he going? He's like, oh Lord, help me. What has she done to me now? You look like a handsome boy. You said it was small. Look at that. I know my cat. He's a chubby boy. I don't think he minds it. You can jump. Oh, you want to go outside with it on? It's like, I'm leaving. I'm out here. You guys, what are you doing to me? You going outside? You can jump with it on. I swear. He's not too sure. I've impaired his jumping ability.
He's like Hercules with his hair. Samson.
He's like, I see the shelf. How do I get up there without jumping? So I stop filming, and he goes into the kitchen, and he doesn't think that he can jump up to the window because he Stitch was like, he wanted out of there. He's like, I'm out of here. And, but he doesn't think he can jump with the sweater on. So I pick him up, put him in the window, and he jumps out the window. So then I ran outside. I'm like, I better go rescue this sweater because I don't know what he's going to do with it. And so I walk into the backyard, and he's just rolling around in the dirt with the sweater. And the sweater's like slipping over his head. You know, he was trying to get it off by rolling around, and he was doing a good job of it. So I take it all the way off, and I get all the dirt off of it, and he goes off on his merry way. So that was, now I got, the next thing is to see if maybe, maybe Pearl will like the sweater. I don't know. I made it large because Stitch is way bigger than Pearl, but we'll see. Tootsie now, she wants back in 30 seconds later. So here's the sweater. I haven't even tucked in the ends of it yet, but it's full of dirt. It's full of leaves and stuff from the cat rolling around. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous little sweater. So I'm going to tuck in those ends and see if maybe Pearl wants it. I don't know. I might try it on Stitch again. You know, it's gonna get cold, cold, cold. And my sister's like, Rebecca, if they're cold outside, they'll come back in the house. I'm like, oh, but I see, I'm a worrywart. These are my babies, you know, so I don't want them to freeze outside. Stitch loves it out there. He really, really does. But he stayed in bed with me last night. Well, because after House of Dragons, I did go and I started playing Dreamlight Valley again. And I was, if you don't know the game, I'm sorry, indulge me for a second. But part of the game is you can make furniture and decor and decorate your house and expand your house. So I added another room to my house, and I was decorating it. Moana was helping me. She kept saying, oh, it's really starting to look nice in here, every time I would add something. So it was fun. I had a good time. But the game glitched on me, and so one of the quests, I'm stuck on one of the quests because it thinks I'm at one point in the quest and I've already finished the quest, and it doesn't know that because the game glitched. It locked up on me, and when I had to back out of the game, and when I came back into the game, yeah, anyway, so, but whatever, it's not a big deal. I just won't do that. I won't do that quest. It's one where you get coconuts, so I don't know if I'm ever going to have coconuts on my island. I think I can, if I turn back the clock, though, on the game, all my interior decorating will be gone. So I don't want to do that. Yes. Because there's a way you can rewind. That's what I loved about my, when I would play Ark. I could control the time in the game. Like if something disastrous happened in the game, you know, Ark is a dinosaur game. Like if I get wiped out or something like that, I just go on my computer and rewind the clock to before it happened. Don't you wish life was like that, where you could just rewind? Be a nicer person, maybe. I don't know. Be a meaner person. What would you change if you could rewind the clock on your life? Like, how far back would you go? I'm trying to think how far back I would go. I don't know. That's a scary thought. Like I'm thinking, at what point in time would I like to go back and do something over again? I think I know. Oh my God, my life would be so different if I would turn the clock all the way back to when my ex-husband wanted to come back. What would have happened if I had taken him back? We continued our marriage. We would have been living in North Carolina. I'd be a famous lawyer. I don't know. wouldn't be living in Wichita. I don't know. Leave a comment about that thought. Give it some thought. Where would you go? What point in your life would you go back to? Would you change anything? That's an interesting question. All right, so let's talk about crafting and crime daily. All right, the case of Darrell Brooks. So I did listen on the way. Friday I was driving home, and I wanted to listen to the George Wagner trial. But here's the problem with the George Wagner trial. The different witnesses are allowed to opt out. So the person that was on the stand that I could have listened to on Friday had opted out. So all you could hear, like all you could see was the defense table, and it's like there was no sound. So you could just see the defense taking notes and making objections and sitting there. So I said, all right, let me go back to the Darrell Brooks trial. So, yeah, but, you know, I do have the ability to look up online and find out what happened in the George Wagner trial. So on the stand, the person that had opted out was George's grandmother, the mother of Angela. As I said before, or maybe I didn't say it before, expected to testify any time now are George's mother, Angela, and his brother, Jake. They were charged with 8 counts of murder, and they both pled guilty. So Jake is serving 8 life sentences. So his guilty plea was in exchange for the death penalty being taken off the table completely, and he had to cooperate in the trial of his brother George and his father Billy Wagner, George Sr. And from what I understand, they will not be allowed the option of opting out. So we will be able to hear their testimony. If I could ever figure out when that testimony is going to be, I would like to go live with the testimony. And let's just all listen to it together. Both Jake's and Angela's. I don't know which one will be first, which one will be second. I don't even know if they're going to call them. They need to call them, though. Right now, there is not enough evidence in front of that jury to convict George Wagner. None of the evidence ties George Wagner to these murders. Nothing. None of the evidence. I mean, these guys did a bang-up job of covering their tracks. So George's grandmother testified. First of all, no love lost between her and her daughter Angela. That's clear. I can relate. And that she just did not like her daughter, apparently. And she had seen the boys in the days before the murders occurred. She had seen George and Jake, and they both had dyed their hair. And their explanation was they had dyed it to look like... I have to read the name. Oh, it's on the next page. Forgive me. They had dyed it to look like Norman Reedus. And I'll put a picture here. Norman Reedus, who stars in The Walking Dead and a movie called Boondock Saints. Now, the grandmother explained that Boondock Saints is a movie about these 2 brothers that go around getting vigilante justice. So the boys, Jake and George, had dyed their hair dark to look like this actor. And that was the explanation for the hair dye. Now, like I said, if I tuned into that, what's going on this morning, there is a woman on the stand. I think she's the police officer who is responsible, who went through the cell phone records of Angela. So she's on the stand now. But if I see that maybe Angela's going to be live on the stand or Jake, I will go live and we will watch it together. Now, the other trial going on is Darrell Brooks. So on Friday, driving home, I couldn't watch Wagner, so I put on Darrell. And there's only so much I can watch of Darrell because he's so obnoxious. He's representing himself. This is the Waukesha Christmas Parade Massacre. He is accused of driving his red SUV through this Christmas parade last November 12th. It was a Sunday afternoon, about 4 o'clock. He had just gotten into an argument with his girlfriend, punched her in the face, apparently. She had a black eye, and decided he's going to drive through this parade route. And he's representing himself. Did I mention that? Yeah. And so the entire week last week, he was in the courtroom. He did not get thrown out of the courtroom. The week before, he spent much of that week in a different courtroom because of his outbursts and his constant interruptions. So at the beginning of this last week, he apologized, and he conducted himself semi-professionally the rest of the week. He did make a lot of frivolous motions, a lot of frivolous objections. He keeps hammering on wanting a ruling on subject matter jurisdiction. You know, when the court starts trial at the beginning of the day, one of the duties of the judge is to identify everyone present in the courtroom. And she will ask the prosecution to note their appearance, and then she will ask the defense to note their appearance. And he has this colloquy that he goes through, that he's a third-party administrator. It's this big, long speech. And he never says Darrell Brooks. He never uses Darrell Brooks' names. And then the judge will say, you know, she'll have to say the person that we identify as Darrell Brooks is present in the courtroom. He's wearing a suit and tie and blah, blah, blah. And then he says, so I watched him this morning, and he said, I think this would be a good time for you to rule on that subject matter jurisdiction. She's like, oh no, we're not going there again. Oh my gosh. So at one point Friday, he would not stop arguing with her. And, you know, he was upset because he said, you know, why does the prosecution, they get to ask anything they want and I can't ask certain questions. And she's like, listen, I'm just an umpire. You know, I call the balls and the strikes as I see them. And he's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And she's like, so you're the ref. Then that means you need to be fair. And she's like, no, yeah, it was pretty funny. So he thinks she's not being fair because he doesn't uphold his objections. What he was trying to do is, there was a police officer on the stand who had testified that he was at the very beginning of the parade. He was in the honor guard, and he was, one of the guys with the flag poles and marching in the parade. So he was done, first one in the parade, first one done. And he had a shift to work that night, a police shift. I got drills everywhere here. Are I eating the coffee? No, none in the coffee. Look, it's getting cold. You can tell. Winter's leaving. But it's in my house. So, where was I? Oh, so he's while he's changing his clothes, he's hearing all this excitement on the radio. And he hears a call about someone near the park with a knife. And he continues to, which as it turns out is the Darrell Brooks event with his girlfriend. I don't think there was a knife involved. I don't know how that got reported, that there was a knife, but the witnesses that have testified said there was no knife. But there was a disturbance. So this officer, he's listening to this, and then all of a sudden he said the radio just went crazy. People yelling and screaming for help. And so he gets dressed real fast. He heads down to the parade route, and he gets down there and he says it's just chaos. And this man flags him down and points out where the red SUV is at that point. It was Darrell had, the alleged defendant, Darrell Brooks, had parked the SUV in front of this house, this random house. So the officer goes over there. Here's a picture of the vehicle. I mean, it was in horrendous shape. The officer describes the vehicle. There was clothing embedded in the vehicle, a hood. There was like this illuminated headbands around the front of the vehicle, and it was still illuminating. And so the person that owned, well, let me back up. So what Brooks was upset about was that he was trying to find out, what did this guy that flagged you down say? What did he say to you? And the judge kept telling him that that's hearsay. You can't, you're not allowed to know what he said. You can call him as a witness during your case and we'll find out what he said on the stand, but you can't ask somebody else what he said. So he was kind of upset about this, you know. So the house where the vehicle stopped, the person that was in the house, he's the next to testify. And he says he's looking out the window and he sees, because he heard this like metal scraping on concrete noise, and he looks out the window and he sees the SUV parked in the driveway, and in the condition that you see it on the screen here. And he sees someone get out of the vehicle and jump over the hood and flee. So the officer now, he comes onto the scene. He secures the vehicle. Inside, the license plate came back to Darrell's mother. The paperwork that was inside did identify Darrell Brooks, and he was apprehended about 3 blocks away from here. So that's really the testimony for Friday. Interesting. Now, I tuned in a little bit this morning. As of this morning, one of the jurors has called the judge and said, I'm very sick. I'm not able to come into court. So she said, I'm just going to excuse you. And she said that because they had 4 alternates. So she says, now we have 3 alternates, and we'll just proceed that way. And I'm assuming it wasn't COVID related, or she would probably have mentioned that. I guess. So that is what is happening in corrupting and crime. I don't know if there's any new trials starting. I'll sniff around, see if anything's coming up. If anything's starting, this is a Monday. This would be a good day to start some jury selection, wouldn't it? Which means we might get a new trial in the next day or two. Because who doesn't love listening to me yammer on about these trials? I'm going to start a sweater for Tootsie. Did I mention that? Yeah, my next crochet project is a sweater for Tootsie. Because she's got the pink one on that you saw, but I want to make her, one of mine. I got to pick out some colors, though, for her sweater. How are we on time? Oh, we're doing fantastic. Okay. So this is Monday. I'm just going to work on the business the rest of the day. I'll try to get a video up on the Leftover channel. So make sure you've got the notification bell turned on over there. I'm so sorry. This cold weather is going to be affecting everyone. I don't think we're getting snow here, but it's definitely going to be really, really cold. And there are other parts of the country where it's going to be so cold they will be getting snow. If there's precipitation, there's going to be snow. And so get your jackets out. get your heaters going, make sure everything's working fine, and stay warm and stay safe. I will see you tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily. Now, like I said, if I see that Angela or Jake are getting ready to testify in the George Wagner case, I'll go live. We'll watch it together. So, guys, have a great Monday. Take care. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.